Hey there, American Salon Facebook audience. It's Gordon Miller, publisher of American Salon, with Doug McCoy, House of Pop, R+Co in Chicago, my hometown. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I love Chicago.
We're glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. Hey, listen, we're going to talk a little bit about R+Co.
Cool.
We're going to talk a lot about House of Pop. Maybe come back again to R+Co,
Okay.
because I think R+Co will appreciate it if we talk more about R+Co, because we are here at an R+Co event. So
Yes.
why don't you tell us about the R+Co event?
The R+Co event, basically what we did was Howard, Garen, and Tom Perino were the ones that they went out and they did a tour, and the team was their support. And this time they've allowed us to go and do the tour ourselves, where we're the ones out on stage since we've been training with them for so long. And we're hitting, quite a few major cities. And the cool thing about it is not only are we doing a show, but we're also doing hands-on. And which is, it's one thing to come and, especially as hairdressers, we go to shows and we watch somebody do a demo. It's a look and learn. It's like, okay, that was cool, but until you get your hands in it, you learn so much more. So I'm really excited about that part.
It's pretty cool. And Tom and Garen and Howard, who snuck out on me. Howard McLaren, I'm going to come after you. You're supposed to be here right now. Howard had to get on an early flight. But they're like the super group of beauty. They remind me of those bands that all came together from a disparate history.
It is, and it's so cool to watch these guys, because Howard being so great with the razor and as just a great educator, and he inspires. But then you throw in Garen, who has more Vogue covers than any hairdresser in history, and then bring in Tom Perino, who does men's grooming for GQ, and just it's amazing to watch them. They come from such different worlds, but they work so well together. It's really a lot of fun.
And I saw them here in Chicago about a year ago. I saw you as well. They did kind of like an artist studio conversation on stage, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. And they kind of spoke a lot to what brought them together, and this whole idea of a collective. And now I guess all you guys are part of the collective. And why don't you talk a little bit about that?
The collective's cool because I own a salon, so I have that, and to be able to come in and still have that life, and come in and work with the team and everybody involved, and we all of us on the team come from different areas, exactly like Garen, Tom, and Howard. And it's so cool to get us together, because we do come from such different places, and we all end up learning from each other. And it's just a great environment to be in, because it is kind of that Warholian type atmosphere, where you just get a bunch of people in a room and let them do what they do. And you end up inspiring somebody, and somebody inspires you, and you end up sharing all this stuff, because maybe I do something well, but somebody else does something well that I don't. So I have no problem asking them and them teaching me. And so it is very much like the factory. It's just, in Miami.
So, I don't know if Warhol would have liked Miami. No. But been to R+Co's headquarters in Miami. Went to Front Row, and it's a great atmosphere. It's a really artistic atmosphere. So you mentioned Warhol. When I first met you, which was in Long Beach, 3-4 years ago. Through Hairbrained, both members of the Hairbrained community. Love Hairbrained.
Love Hairbrained. Hi, Hairbrained.
You had just started kind of doing House of Pop, which was not an actual salon at the time. It was kind of your brand. And I said to you at that time, I was like, you kind of reminded me of I thought of you as the Andy Warhol of beauty. And,
which was a huge honor, and thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
That was big.
You earned it, because you have a really unique style in how you present the brand. And so I want to come back to R+Co and talk about why you're involved with it and some of the product stuff. But I first want to talk about you and your art and branding, and kind of how House of Pop happened.
Yeah, House of Pop came out of a need for me, because I was doing Fashion Week with another company, and I thought that's the route I wanted to go. And so when I wasn't there, I live in a really small town, if anybody doesn't know, but
Spokane, Washington.
And so I didn't have that feeding me. I would go to New York and do that and then come back. And so I started working with my local photographers and local models and local makeup and boutiques, and we were doing our own shoots. And pretty soon we just had this huge collection of photos and video. And that was the other part of it, was the video. I do haircut films, but they're more inspirational than they are how-to videos. So I was doing all that, but it wasn't just for me. I didn't want to just put Douglas McCoy on it. So I'm a huge Warhol fan, and that's why I film, that's why I do photography, that's why I do all the types of work that I do. And so being able to brand it, House of Pop, that's where pop comes from, is Andy Warhol reference. And House of is just simply for the fact that we have it's a fashion house. I mean, we do a number of things, and I wanted it to be a fashion house. I wanted makeup, wardrobe, local models that we could use. So we called it House of Pop, and that was my wife is the one who named it, Amy, and she went and how are you? No, that's all right. We have visitors.
We're live.
But no, we putting House of Pop on it and gave it a life, and it was something that I could work with anybody, but it was still the same entity. It was still it. And then after a while, I needed a place to work, so I was like, well, we might as well give it a home.
Yep. Are we still there? The phone rang. I forgot to turn something off. Sorry, folks. So Salon became real.
Yeah.
You're in the process of about to expand it.
Yeah, if everything goes right, yes.
And so share your thoughts on branding. So for those listening who either have an independent career or have a salon, I mean, I don't know if you did it intuitively or how you kind of fell into it, but the whole idea of a salon as a brand and what it means to the business and how important is it?
The branding is probably, I mean, it's as important as anything in a business because it tells people who you are. It gives everything a look, a feel, and it has to be consistent where if you have a salon, it's the music that you play, it's the lighting, it's the vibe, it's the environment, it's the people who work in there, it's the attitude. So you have to give the public something. So branding's huge. However, and I always tell people this, finding the brand is difficult. But once you know who you are and what you're about and what you stand for, you never go off-brand. It's just like if Coca-Cola suddenly, they went from red cans to pink, you'd lose it. So, I mean, that's how important branding is. You can look at anything, you look at Apple and that insignia, you immediately know it's Apple. And so you want your clients and your customers and even hairdressers that are coming to you to literally be able to see a photo or see your salon's name, and you just know immediately who it is.
And you do that so well. I mean, we're all going through our Instagram feed, right? And I don't have to see your name. I don't have to see, House of Pop to know I'm seeing a House of Pop image. And so you really take it. I think you push the branding thing to where you need to push it.
I love film. I love old film. And so I was shooting with actual Polaroid cameras and shooting with that sort of an equipment. But then, because I love that, and so the pictures we take on our phones, I'd make look like old photos. Mm-hmm. And that kind of set the tone of the brand. Yeah. And now it's funny, it's great to go back and see the progression of the work, because even though I'm shooting now a lot more in color and I'm not going as campy, the feel is still there. And that's so important to have for any salon or any brand of any kind.
And you mentioned music, so I know music's important to you, and music, your brand is kind of infused with music. We don't necessarily feel that, but I know that about you. Yeah. So talk about that, because as a consumer, I pick up on that when I go to a salon. But the music, the vibe, all that matters to me. So
the music's important just because it's inspiring. It gives you a feeling. It gives you as soon as a song comes on, you're like, oh my God, that's so great. And so that energy that a song can deliver to you from any type of band or songwriter is so important, just for that punch in the gut, you know, that makes you want to do something. And so the music in the salon's great because we always get compliments on our music in the salon, because it's not the normal music you hear in a salon. It's not top 40, even though we have a lot of top 40 type songs. It's everything. It's from Velvet Underground. It's anything that I want people, when they come into House of Pop, that's what they should be hearing. And so, yeah, and I'm listening to music all the time. I'm on the plane, my headphones are on, or I'm on the bus to work, or I'm walking to work, and we have music going on at the house. We play vinyl at the salon, so we have record player. So yeah, music is huge, just to give you that drive and that push.
And again, as a consumer, it matters. You know, it's like going into a restaurant or a diner. For those of you who don't maybe think about it in your salon, how important it really is. We've all experienced bad music, whether it's that never-ending Christmas music.
Oh yeah.
That could be difficult by January 1st, or just bad music. I mean, it's so important because it either makes us comfortable or not.
It has to match the personality of the environment that you're in. So if I go to, you know, an Asian restaurant and they're playing, you know, Enya or something, you're like, it doesn't fit. Right. But I've gone into, you know, you walk into a diner and they're playing 1950s and you're like, rockabilly, and you're like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. All of a sudden you're now immersed into that environment. So, you know, if you pay attention when you go out and wherever you're at, just if you immediately go, wow, this place is cool, ask yourself why. Why do you feel that place is cool?
That's such
and it's going to be the paint on the walls, it's going to be the sound that when you talk, what that is, it's going to be the music playing, it's going to be the lighting, it's going to be the furniture.
How people treat you.
Yeah, it will all fit. I mean, I've gone to restaurants where their shtick is actually, you know, they're not overly nice. Mm-hmm. But every time you go in, it's exactly that way.
Right.
You know it going in there, and they're like, "Oh, great! I can't wait to see what kind of attitude, you know, my waiter has." But they've made it part of their thing.
Yep.
Where you go other places and they're so attentive, and you're like, "Thank you." So yeah, I mean, all of that plays into the brand, and salons. That's what I tell people all the time: is salons can do what the big boys do.
Yeah.
Salons can do what all the product companies do.
And learn from them.
Absolutely. I mean, just do it. You don't need millions upon millions of dollars to brand your salon.
Right.
It just takes heart and love and attention.
And you should align your brand as a business with the brands that you're going to retail. I mean, there should be alignment, right?
Anytime. I mean, that's why I brought R+Co into my salon, because when Howard sent me I didn't even have the product yet. He just sent me the artwork because the product line didn't exist. And as soon as I saw the artwork and the imagery for it, it was as if someone had given me a whole bunch of money to go start my own product line. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, because it had to fit. I'm opening a salon. I can't bring in just some brand that some distributor says, I'll cut you a deal on. You have to love what is in there, because if you love it, your hairdressers will love it, and your clients will love it. And it just makes for a much better environment. I mean, my work is a lot similar to Howard's as far as the photography and the video.
Right, yep.
And so a lot of times they get, you know, is this R+Co or is it House of Pop? You know, and that's fun, knowing that we get to work on that type of level.
No, that's brilliant, actually. So let's talk a little bit about people, because we met through a community hair brand. Mm-hmm. We're here at an event. I walked up the street around Ontario in Chicago, right off Michigan Avenue. And I'm roaming down the street trying to find a building I've never been to before. And about 20 yards away, I was like, people smoking cigarettes. And they look really, really cool.
They look good. They're in black.
Good looking,
crazy hair.
Good looking people.
Hairdressers.
But a community, you know, the big collective community, this feels very communal, what you have. You're traveling the country for R+Co. So talk a little bit about community. I want to hear from you on your local community, because that's a big part of your business, the bigger community hairdressing, and then maybe start with the R+Co community.
Here's what's cool about the R+Co community, and it was another reason why, you know, I'm always leery of brands, of product lines and companies in that, because I don't, you know, we've all been burned so many times. And so the thing that I like about R+Co is that not only do people love it, with the people that are involved, whether they're working there or they have it in their salon, or even if they don't have it in their salon, they're paying attention to the imagery and the education. But it's this great community to have. Hello, ladies. More visitors.
Yeah.
It's such a great community because we all get it. And we all get each other. We all know where we're coming from, and you know, we'll use film reference and music reference, and you know, the references that we use today, old Hollywood, and it's just, there we go.
We almost lost you guys.
But that community is great. But not only that, but they bring in other brands. They're doing something that I never thought a company would do. Is they've reached out to all these other hair brands and hair companies, and they're working together, and it's for one purpose, and it's to make hairdressing great and make hairdressers great. That's it. There's no, oh, we can't go talk to them because they're a different brand. It's like, not only will we talk to you, but we'll sit down with you and have dinner and talk and learn from each other, and then again, to make hairdressing great. You know, that's the purpose.
Right. It's powerful hanging with other people.
Yeah.
You have similar interests and similar goals. Yep. You know, and I think again, a really interesting crowd here. So hairbrained, you know, the larger community, you're involved. You've won video of the year.
Yeah, video awards.
Video awards are huge, a part of your art. Talk about that briefly.
The hairbrain community saved my life. Period.
Okay.
Period. Like I don't joke around about that. I was so involved with a product line that when it got bought out and everyone left, I found myself very by myself, and I had no idea what to do. Like I put so much time and effort into this, and Gerard found me on Facebook.
Co-founder of Hairbrain with Randy Taylor.
And Gerard messaged me, and he's like, "You need to be here. Like, we like your stuff. You need to be here." And I got on there, and the next thing I know, I had all these people, all these hairdressers that like photography and like film and like education, and they like referencing, and they respect the craft from where it is now, but where it came from. And to get involved with people like that, it literally, all of a sudden I was like, yeah, this is fantastic. So
get each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's that too, right? There's a lot.
I mean, I get to go work with DJ Muldoon. I get to go work with Gerard with the Rojo. I get to go work with Lucy, and I get to work with all these super cool hairdressers that are all in one place. I have instant access, and so yeah, Hairbrain is just a fantastic thing to be involved with, and to do something and there's no criticism. It's not like YouTube where you put it on and somebody immediately goes, "You suck."
Haters, yeah. There's no haters.
You know, and you get on Hairbrain, you throw a picture out. If you like it, people say, "Wow, great." If they don't, it's not their place to say you suck. You know, why would you do that?
And they recognize.
Yeah, so they're very respectful. So that community, and then my local community. This has been really cool because we are more. My salon is more famous in LA and in Paris than it is in my hometown, because we've gotten so much press. Yeah. And so my little town, everybody's like, "Post pop-up, what's that?" I don't know what that is, and it's forced me to change my marketing.
Wow.
Because where before I was throwing it out to hairdressers because they're the ones that fed me.
Yep.
Well, hairdressers don't come sit, well, some hairdressers come sit in my chair, but it's my town. So I've literally had to figure out, okay, well, how do you market to clients? Because I've never had to do it before. I've always marketed to hairdressers. And so my local community is great because, I mean, when we moved there, I hated it because it was a small town. I was from Seattle. And all of a sudden I realized over the years, it's like we have like an amazing music scene. We have amazing restaurants. We have amazing nightlife. We have such a cool community, and it's a factory town. So it's blue collar. It's not all snooty, you know? And so it's so cool to just walk around town and look at the architecture and look at the people and go, this is real.
Now how do you connect it to your business? Because I think it sounds like you network within the community to help build your business. Lot. Again, you're expanding, so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we work with everybody. It's anybody that would be involved in a brand like House of Pop, so local boutiques, music venues, restaurants. We have a ton of bartenders and waitresses and working people who come to the shop. And so those are the people that I tend to be around. Local magazines. We try to go to as many events as possible.
So you reach out.
Yeah.
You reach out to
all the time, daily, like all the time.
Talk a little bit about social media locally, because you said for you it was more about connecting with the hairdresser, but how have you switched that up? Like, what tips can you give to a salon owner or to someone who's an independent, who's trying to build their clientele or build their business by way of social?
Social media, what you do is, well, what I did was I found the most popular local social media people, like companies, and I watched what they were doing. And I watched their hashtags. And
so brands and businesses.
Yeah, and I paid attention to what they were doing. And then I found all these local, they're not even real businesses, they're just these local people who put up an Instagram that has gotten really popular. And so I use their hashtag. We have one in Spokane, it's called Spokane Doesn't Suck, because you get a lot of, a small town can get a little negative sometimes, so, this small town, it sucks. But this kid did the hashtag Spokane Doesn't Suck, and it's an Instagram. And so I use that hashtag on our pictures because it hits so many people. And the only people that are going to be on that is all local.
And people search hashtags. That's why they're so powerful.
That's why
that's how the information is organized on Instagram, and it becomes very, very powerful. So.
And we'll use like a local boutique, and we will make sure that we pay it back, and we always tag them.
Yeah.
And,
so important.
And then they tag us.
Yeah.
And then I give them photos of their stuff, whether it's jewelry or clothing or makeup or whatever. So yeah, working with your community, but you work with the ones that are cool. The ones that...
If you're a cool brand.
Yeah, if
now,
you're
I'm
cool.
not so cool. So if you're not so cool...
Gordon's very cool.
If you're not so cool... I hang with cool people, but I'm not cool. But see, if I was doing a brand, for myself, it would be a little different, because I'd be a little bit more mainstream, let's say it that way.
Yeah,
so
but
find your lane.
Then you find the ones that are mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
That's my point.
Like-minded.
Find your lane. Yeah.
Like-minded. Well, find your people. Find your tribe, and it's in wherever you're at. They're there.
That's good advice. So let's go back to R+Co.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about what's next. Like, what's new? What are you guys doing here? What's new from R+Co? What's coming up?
The product, Howard always says this great thing. He says they are mainly R+Co's education, and it's because we have the three main guys, Garen, Howard, and Tom. It's about education, and they want to make hairdressers great. Well, in order for that to happen, they have to make great products. And so the product line itself has become fun because we get like little blasts of new stuff, but they're all original. Like, nobody has, certain things in the line. They don't exist in any other line, and that's hard to find. Yeah. And so we have a bunch of new stuff coming out, a pre-shampoo conditioner, which blew my mind. I was completely confused. But once it got explained to me, it was wonderful. But that's what R+Co does, is what is needed, and we have no problem taking products away. When they're done, they serve their purpose, or hey, actually this is a little bit better, they get rid of it.
That's interesting.
And they bring in what's relevant for that time. And you always see brands and they get like this, they get massive, and you're like, how many straighteners do you need? Really. And so it's been so fun on the product development side to watch these new ideas coming out. So yeah, the education center in Miami is doing great. I think they're planning a few more in different locations. We go on tour with the team, and we get to share this with everybody. And that's what's also cool, because everybody on the team has their own brand, or they're either working in other salons, or they own salons, or they do full-time education, and we all get to kind of stop and go play with our friends, nice. And then go back
and learn, right? Because you learn there's no better way to learn than to teach, as they say. So
it's
and
yourself.
And R+Co is part of a bigger collective, right?
Yeah,
so there's LBP, Luxury Brand Partners, and exciting news from LBP. There's towards the end of October. It hasn't been announced yet. There's going to be a social media-based event down in Miami.
Yep.
American Salon is going to be the exclusive media partner with that event. We're very deeply involved in the planning already. We're going to make an announcement in the next couple of days. So again, innovative company doing all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing is everybody's always panicked on, they find a product line and it's like, oh, and then they get bought out. And it's like, we already have a parent company. So that stress isn't there, as much as it would be if I was someplace else. So it's kind of cool to see Ted Finger, who's the president. He gets and they're all different. All our LBP's brands are completely different, but we all play so well together. And it's a completely other collective.
And are we allowed to mention the other products? Is that okay in an R+Co video? I think we can, right?
Well, we're all the same.
Yeah. So
Orbe, V76, Smith & Co, and R+Co, and I'm sure there'll be new ones coming down the road.
And now there's a relationship with Pulp Riot.
Yeah.
So that's the newest to join the collective. So, all right. So we're gonna wrap up. Your little House of Pop logo is on your phone. I saw that. Maybe you can hold that up. It's backwards because that's what happens with video.
Don't write it like that. Your computer will die.
Thanks to Doug McCoy, R+Co and House of Pop, R+Co for hanging with us for a few minutes in Chicago.
Seeing who all's on here.
Hey Gerard, is Gerard there?
Yeah.
Hey Gerard, I can't see that far. There's a real problem. I'm going to go out here and look.
There you go.
So I don't. Yeah. Hey Brenda. Hey Gerard. Eden. We haven't met yet. There's some more. Oh, we have a bunch. Hey, we'll get better at this. As far as I need binoculars to be able to see the comments on the phone. Hey, again, thanks from American Salon. We will be back in a couple of hours with another surprise from R+Co here in Chicago. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.